at the beach. So we're going to pick up with The Art of Being and Becoming by Hazrat Inayat Khan. But before I do that, I want to talk about the tea I'm drinking. I make hibiscus tea almost every day. This is completely unsponsored, but I like to just share a bit about my life and what I do. So I use the dried leaves. I'll show you how they look, because I enjoy this process. So I drop some leaves and I let them boil and let it steep for several minutes, and it turns into a thick, very dark red, tasty tea. You don't need that many. I don't even use this much, really. So, anyways, I pretty much do that every day. And let me just tell you about some of the benefits of hibiscus tea. It protects with antioxidants. It's rich in antioxidants such as beta-carotene, vitamin C, and it fights inflammation. It lowers blood pressure, lowers cholesterol, promotes weight loss, and fights bacteria. All right, well, let's get into the art of being and becoming. The work that a Sufi considers to be his sacred task has nothing to do with any particular creed, nor has it to do with any particular religion. It is only this simple thing: to be in rhythm with life's conditions and to be in tune with the infinite. When one asks how one can arrive at being in accord with life instead of being frightened by life's conditions, the answer is by meeting them and observing them keenly, and then by trying to harmonize oneself for the time being with those conditions, while the next effort is to rise above them if they are adverse. At this time, the world's condition is such that it seems that the art of personality has been much neglected. Man, intoxicated with the life of cupidity and the competitive spirit, is held by the commercialism of the day, is kept busy in the acquirement of the needs of this everyday life, and the beauty that is the need of the soul is lost to view. Man's interest in all aspects of life, science, art, philosophy, remains incomplete in the absence of the art of personality. How rightly the distinction has been made in the English language between man and gentleman. Part 3, the art of personality. Chapter 19, our God part and our man part. Not only in this age, but also in past ages, the first thing realized by man has been his own limited existence, formed of matter, which he called I. This is not his fault. It is because religions have been interpreted with the intention of dominating the people, of holding them in the grasp of those who understood their meaning. The priests have only allowed people to understand very little, and all the rest they have kept for themselves. They have said, "You are ordinary beings. God is much too high for you to understand. We can communicate with him. We can understand him. But you must stay where you are." All his life, Buddha fought hard against this. When someone spoke to him of a spirit of God or made a show of a holy or spiritual life, he said, "I do not believe in it." But this was very extreme, for it led people into another error. It led them to say that there was no God, no spirit. Another reason for this separation was that it has always been the tendency of those who had the same way of thought, the same belief or faith, to come together in one group, in one society, in order to have the encouragement of each other's thought. By this, they separated themselves from the rest of humanity. The mystic has never believed with a blind belief. In fact, he does not believe. He experiences. He experiences that he is himself, the whole being. There is a verse of a Hindustani poet that says, "Behind the human face, God was hiding. I did not know. I veiled my eyes and was separated from truth. I did not know." It is a very beautiful verse, and it has a deep meaning. All of us have our God part and our man part. Man is made of two things, spirit and substance. The spirit is the finer part, and the substance is the grosser part. The finer part, the spirit, has turned into the grosser part. One part is the external, limited self that we see, and the other is the unlimited being. Man's external self is composed of the 5 elements, but in reality, man is much larger and extends much further than we generally believe. For instance, when someone stands before an audience, he appears to be of a certain size. But when he speaks, he is as large as the area to which his voice carries. Although a friend or a beloved may be thousands of miles away, he will feel our attachment, our affection. The feeling originates here, but manifests over there. This shows that in our feelings we are larger still. The breath goes still further. By the breath we can send our thoughts wherever we wish, and we are able to know the thought and the condition of every being. The thought of someone who wishes to accomplish a certain thing reaches out in order to prepare it. Man is like a telescope. At one end, there is the man part, the limited existence, and at the other end, there is the God part, the unlimited being. At one end, we are so small. At the other, we are so vast that we are the whole being. If each of us is so great as the whole being, we might ask how there can be room for so many of us. Are there then several whole beings? There are not. Through our ignorance, we see many and make distinctions, saying, "This is I, that is you, this is a friend, that is an enemy. I like this one, that one I do not like." But in the hereafter, all are connected. We are all the same. Man has 2 natures, the angelic and the animal. Hayvanat means man's body and that part of his nature which needs food, drink, sleep, and the satisfaction of all its passions. His anger and his jealousy are animal. Also his fear of one who is stronger than himself, and his envy of one who is better than he. In all these, man is the same as the animals. Farishtagi is the part of his nature that goes back to its source. It is not man's intelligence. The animals also have intelligence, though they cannot ask from where have I come? For what purpose am I here? When man knows this, when he recognizes his origin, then he is a divine being. This angelic nature is his kindness, his love, his sympathy, and his desire for knowledge. A great Hindustani poet has said, we created man for feeling, if not for our praise, the angels were enough in heaven. In his worship, man, thinking that he glorifies God, in reality reduces God. We take a part and call it I. We occupy this part and thereby deduct it from God. I remember that my Murshid, when he met with any difficulty, used to say with a deep sigh, Bandagi Bacharaki, which means, by coming here, he has become helpless. What connection is there between God and man? And what connection is there between man and God? What we call I is formed by the impressions of the external world, the world of illusion, which have fallen upon the soul. An infant will never say I. If it has something in its hand and one takes it away, it does not care. It does not distinguish between old and young. Whoever comes near to it, friend or enemy, is the same to the infant. The intellect that recognizes things by their distinctions and differences has deluded the soul. We can see that that which we call I is not the true nature of our soul, because we are never really happy. Whatever we do, whatever we have, whatever power we possess, we can never be happy. We say that this or that makes us unhappy. But it is only the distance that makes us so. The soul is unhappy in its separation. A person sees that his coat is great, and he thinks, I am grand. It is not he who is grand. It is his coat. Whatever is before the soul recognizes as I. But what is I? The coat is not I. Because when the coat is taken off, the self remains. When we are not experiencing through our senses, the consciousness still remains. The Sufi, by the inactivity of the senses by different postures and practices, produces stillness. Then, by the repetition of the name of God, he merges his consciousness in the whole consciousness in God. This has been understood by the Greek philosophers. It has also been understood by the Vedantists. The Sufi keeps to the adoration, the reverence that he has for God. He bows and prostrates himself before God, and he gives the beautiful name of beloved to God. He understands that by saying, this too is God, he glorifies God. He does not reduce him. With all his humility, with all his devotion, he realizes his oneness with the highest being. It is difficult to separate God from man. In reality, there is no separation. God's action and man's action are the same. Only God's action is perfect, and man's action is imperfect. We upon earth are dependent upon so many things. First of all, we must eat. If we did not need to eat, man would not have to work. He could sit with his friends and think of God or of something else. Then he must sleep. And there are so many other necessities. Well, thanks for watching and listening. Like and subscribe. Catch me in the next video. Bye. Oh, and of course, may you find lasting